Goodnow, revolutionaries, and welcome to the Rise Up Morning Show. Today is Tuesday, November 4th, and this is your place for helpful Web3 news, commentary, answers to your crypto questions. And today I have traded Alex and Will. We have lowered the straight white guy from the United States quotient, and we have really, I gotta say, upgraded ourselves. I am so excited to be joined by my friends Ceci and Stella, members of Unlock Protocol. My friends, thank you so much for being here. Welcome to the Rise Up Morning Show.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you, Evan. Amazing to be here.
It is so good to be here with you. I teased it a little on the show yesterday, but I am excited to officially announce that the Rise Up Morning Show is powered by partnership with Unlock Protocol. So give these friends of ours a very warm welcome and strap in, because today we are going to tell you exactly what Unlock Protocol does, why it might matter for you personally. And I want to get started by just humanizing you both, welcoming you to our living room. Would you take a minute just to introduce yourselves, the work you do, and then we can get a little into Unlock Protocol. Ceci, do you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. So, hi, I am Cecilia Contreras, also known as Ceci Sakura, and I am a community builder here in Bolivia. I am located in Bolivia, South America. So I have been part of communities that started the movement here. And right now, I am also co-founder of As a Blockchain Bolivia, which is an association of people, professionals, enterprises, and people that are building on blockchain here in Bolivia. And also, I am part of Unlock Protocol DAO. I am the marketing and communications steward, and really glad to be here, and definitely excited to unveil and show more about what is Unlock and how people can use it for their benefit.
Beautiful. Thank you. And Stella, tell the folks about you.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. It's a very new perspective for me, because this is one camera and down here is my phone. So hi TikTok, hi everything else. My name is Stella. I used to be the lead steward over at Unlock Protocol DAO, which was an interim role to create essentially the foundation for Steward Council. So now we're in Steward Council mode. Ceci is one steward, there's Blakar, there's Andrew, there's potentially Trix or Anupa. We're not quite sure yet who's gonna make the run for the next one. But yeah, so I've been spending a lot of time for the last 1.5 years in Unlock Protocol DAO, and I'm essentially an operational and operations and coordination leader over there. On the other side, I'm also the founder of the Alana project, which is an educational project specifically aimed for creators and creators to empower them with blockchain-powered technology.
One of the things I really love is that both of you really exemplify what I have come to understand is like this Web3 native thing. Like, what does it mean to be a crypto person first, a Web3 person first? And that is that you are involved in many different things. I think anybody in maybe a Web 2 way of doing stuff would hear that you're the founder of this, that you're a director at that, and you're doing all these different things, and they're thinking, oh my gosh, you've got like 5 full-time jobs. But jobs and roles and relationships here are a lot more fluid, and as a result, people are able to feel more connected to more meaningful things, it seems like. Would you both agree with that?
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. I think a lot of people who get to know me first and they come from the Web 2 world, they're quite confused. They're like, what? Like, why are you doing so many different things? That cannot work out in one day. And I'm like, well, the secret or the understanding of myself of DAOs, for example, decentralized autonomous organizations, is that ideally a lot of people do a tiny bit in that organization, not like 3 people do it all, right? Because that would be a company. So organizations like DAOs, they should work eventually as we experiment more and as we get there from a coordination point of view, they should essentially turn into little beehives. And I already heard a nod, a visual and a verbal nod from Ceci. So maybe you want to add?
Please.
Yeah, I do agree. Sometimes one can feel like overwhelmed, like why these people do have so many roles, and how do they manage their day? Do they have a life? But in the fact is that it comes in the like part of the journey. So you may start like really small, just being part of the community, supporting, joining events and things. But then you become more curious and you want to experiment more. And then you become part of maybe a core team, or maybe you just start using so many projects and want to then start your own. So it's just part of your journey. And in some way, you may feel that it will be part of your journey too, if you want to. If not, obviously it's not. And definitely I agree with the vision Stella shared about the beehive, because I am also a beekeeper. So everything bees is definitely the way, the way to go.
I love that. That's something I noticed about you right away. And one of the things I wanted to ask you about on the show is, has that always been a part of your life? Is like your love for bees, be gorgeous, and so on?
Yeah. Well, I started all my bee journey on when I was really sick at the hospital, and then I became like obsessed with it, and it became part of my personal life, like just starting to use beehive products and want to learn more about bees, about their structures and things. And then I wanted to have my own beehives. So I said to my husband, "Oh, we need to do it, and we need to do it now. If not, we're not going to do it anyway." So we started with our experimental beehives, and in the meantime, I sell and sold bee products like honey, propolis, pollen, and all that stuff. And then I started like joining beekeeping clubs and beekeeping associations to continue learning, because definitely it's something that it really needs you to be aware of yourself, but also be aware of the bees. So you need to really constantly learn things.
Yeah, I can imagine. Another club we found out that we're all members in addition to being, Web3 natives who are trying to build a better, more egalitarian internet. We all are members of the Two Dog Club. There's a band called Three Dog Night, but we could be the Two Dog Club. Everybody here just has two dogs. So Will, Alex, wherever you are, Stella and Ceci are coming for you. Okay. I hope you are trembling in your boots. I feel like this could be an upgrade. There's so much good synergy here. But really, truly, Alex, Will, wherever you are, whenever you listen, I can't wait for you to see this episode, because one of the things we're driving through today is how to make this whole Web3 thing more real. Like, that's really, I think, one of the things Unlock does well. One of the reasons we were so excited about having you on, working more closely together, is because you will help more people use this technology in a way that goes beyond just I bought this JPEG or my token went up in value, but can help them start to express dimensions of their personality, tell better stories, or just do things they already do as everyday people who live in a world where the internet is part of it better. I'd be curious to know now if you can tell us a little more about Unlock Protocol. How did it start? What does it do? And especially to come back to this question of like, okay, I'm a teacher, I'm a veterinarian, I don't even have a job. What's in it for me? Stella, would you share?
So like, you do it. Yeah, sure. I don't know. Do I need to turn on my sound also on TikTok, or can people hear me through this stream?
People can hear you through the stream
Right?
as if by magic.
You're awesome. Thank you. Okay. Well, Unlock Protocol started first in 2018. So it was founded just, very regularly by Julian Genesto. He was working at the time, I believe, for Medium. And they were starting to, think about memberships. And so while he was working on Medium, he was like, well, I mean, memberships, yes, but what if memberships would become a portable thing? Something that, the people who issue these memberships could take them to, different platforms, let's just say, or for different uses, right? So imagine Patreon wouldn't be, just bound to the Patreon platform, but the same membership would be counting for YouTube. It would be counting for, I don't know, a Telegram community, whatever, right? And so it would become portable. And this is when he had this idea of, maybe I just built this, because he has this, this decentralized web. He always had this in him since very early on. So he founded the protocol. He founded the company eventually. And they started working on the product. And after they had the memberships out, people started to realize that, I think within the company, they started to realize, first of all, it's a decentralized technology. So we need an organizational structure that can support this in the long run. And the first conversations about a DAO came up, right? Because it's not enough to just have a decentralized technology. You also need to have a framework that's decentralized to govern efficiently a protocol. So nothing in this protocol can be changed without the people who actually hold a stake in that protocol. So even if, Julian, let's just say he had a brilliant idea over the weekend, it's like, I want to change half of the protocol. Here is the code. He cannot do it. He has to go through it on chain, right? Everything else would be impossible. And that is subjective to a vote from the community. If the community doesn't vote in favor, then the change doesn't go through, no matter how great his idea was during the weekend, let's just say. So that's the beauty about protocols. And so what we do these days is, first of all, we're governed by a DAO entirely, right? So that has changed tremendously over the last few years. Then what we offer is essentially that everyone, even people who do not know how to code, make and deploy their own smart contracts, because this is where the power is, right? So if you launch your NFT collection on a known platform, that's still great. It has its own power in a way, right? If you're a well-known artist, probably you get more recognition there. But if you're just starting out, you actually do not, right? So starting to build the audience where you are instead where a platform is much, much better in a way. So we give people the power to deploy their own smart contracts for memberships, for certifications, for recurring subscriptions on chain, for tickets, events, right? I think people have come across probably with Unlock from the Pizza DAO events, because they have been global and they're using Unlock protocol. But yeah, use cases are honestly, they stop where your imagination stops. This is where they really stop. I just, did a consulting yesterday for a jewelry artist who wants to use Unlock protocol to sell and certify his products. There's an art collection we launched just last week with Women of Web3. So it's just, whatever you want to do, you can do with them.
Yeah, I would encourage people who are listening along at this moment. We're going to drive through the website and work through the protocol a little more closely in a minute. But if you want to get ahead of me, head over to unlockprotocol.com and specifically to docs.unlock-protocol.com. I have before me, for people who cannot see it in podcast land, a list of all the different features that have been deployed here: subscriptions, airdrops, walletless onboarding, integration with credit cards, wallet support, supporting different types of tokens and transfers, soulbound tokens, email replies, kind of customizations. And am I correct? It really all started with, let's just do a ticket for an event. Yeah. Let's token gain a membership primitives.
Just membership primitives. This is where it all started, because Julian was working at Medium and thought about a portable membership solution. That's all where it started.
Yeah. Which is really so that's still very big picture. I wonder, Ceci, would you go further? Do you have anything to add to that, or could you maybe pull us through a couple specific examples of how people have used this, are using this, might use this right now in a way that makes what they do better?
Yeah, sure. So on Unlock, we have like 4 big use cases, which are memberships, subscriptions, event tickets, and certifications. So let's say you are an event organizer, and you would usually need to hire the service of any of these big ticketing companies,
Sure.
or maybe use it yourself on Luma or Eventbrite, But what happens is when you start using those kind of services, you lose control of the things that matter, which are the personal data of the people that are subscribing or that are retrieving their tickets, for example. So you don't want to do that because it's too much responsibility about that. So in that case, Unlock Protocol gives you the rails to start using it for your service and build it for your own. So when you start interacting with Unlock, definitely you are interacting with a smart contract, but that smart contract that you are creating is completely yours. As an event organizer, is completely yours. So then you can really be mindful of what data you want to retrieve or not from your audience. And maybe also if you just want to, okay, let's give the tickets to emails, because people not necessarily need to have like a Web3 wallet, and you just want to give them the ticket and they can receive their QR code, which is fine. So that's something that you can do on Unlock. So this gives you a much more open and really mindful tool to start using it for your business, but definitely also onboarding people into new technology that is decentralized and doesn't gather so much data for not even you, but definitely your audience too.
I heard somebody say the other day that people don't care about privacy. People don't care about their data being sold. And somebody in conversation corrected them and said, they do care. It's just that they don't pay attention to it until it becomes a problem. And mostly they're unaware the extent to which it is a problem. And when they become aware, that's when they get outraged. So what you said about losing things that matter, that's what sticks out to me. And I think it's something it doesn't matter until it matters to you. And when it does, it really matters.
Yeah, and something that it's really like on the same page is because, for example, here in Bolivia, people usually definitely they are like very cautious of sharing personal details, like for example their ID. But what if you are sharing that without knowing that you are sharing that? And that's something that happened here because our personal data has been leaked to the dark web and has been like commercialized over there.
Yeah.
We didn't know. So it really matters until it really matters. So privacy definitely it's not only a need, it's a right, and definitely it's something that we have to be mindful and we need to be aware of. Stella, you wanted to say something?
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, what really triggered my journey into, I want to say, this niche part of Web3 was actually an experience I had, I want to say, in 2020. I've been spending a lot of time on Instagram, building up my audience. I did quite okay on there. And then during the pandemic, I did a collaboration with the Museum of Art in Vienna to design some masks, essentially inspired by some of their artworks, right? And
as one does.
as one obviously does. That's like super normal, right? Anyway, because my actual background is I'm a designer, right? That's where I actually come from. So, anyways, I used to do really good on Instagram. Then I posted this collaboration, and it was supposed to be a collaborational post as well, right? And then I got shadow banned from Instagram because that picture contained a nude sculpture.
Oh, no.
And I was like, what the hell? Because that was like, I think they did hire me because I had good reach, right? They did not just hire me for my designer skills, wish that would be the case, but it's usually a combination of those two things these days, right? And I was like, what the hell, And I think this is where Ceci speaks so much truth, because it's really only until it happens to you or someone that you care about that you're realizing, oh, this is how it works. And this is why this is not cool, right? And it's the same with the data. As long as you do not know it's gotten leaked or hacked, you usually don't care. Once you start seeing, scammy messages popping up all over your WhatsApp, well, then you're like, what exactly happened here, right? And I think especially for creators these days, a lot of our data has been scraped and crawled from the internet without our permission. I know people used to laugh at me when I said, well, if big tech would be paying, universal income, we would be all doing quite fine, right? I mean, there has never been more truth to these words than just today, because imagine all the people getting paid for the crawled artwork to train AI models. Most of the world would be in a different place if that would have turned into universal income. So just saying.
Yeah, and the orientation we have to it is changing, and that's why we need primitives like this. My nephew yesterday, this is not the coaster that he observed. My fiance got a couple of coasters though. I just want to show this as like an example. This is a picture of Michael Jordan doing like a famous slam dunk on this coaster. But she has some other coasters like this that have some animation style art of musicians on the streets of New Orleans. She got them from an artist there who, this is a couple years ago, before, GPT and everything had proliferated, Mid-Journey, etc. And our nephew, August, was in the house the other day, and he said, why do you have coasters with AI art? And she was like, no, buddy, that's not AI. So like just yet another reason like why you want to be able to verify what's yours, prove where something came from, own it, control it, distribute it according to your will. And it's so fast how this happens. Already people have this sort of perception shift that like, no. It is normal. It is natural for the world to be full of like your data, your art, your ideas, and for nobody to know that they came from you. Just an interesting observation of the world we live in. Alex is here in the comments, so I want to say shout out to Mr. Alex Popovich. I know if he was here on the microphone, he would say,
I am a big fan of this.
Regarding Unlock Protocol and regarding the problem of the situation we find ourselves in on the internet that, frankly,
it's just stupid.
So thank you, Alex, for your contributions. If you've got a comment, if you've got a question for our friends at Unlock, then let me know. If you're listening in podcast land thinking, oh my gosh, I want to try this, I want to join this conversation, then a couple of places you got to go. Friends, I want to invite you. Can you maybe pull up the Unlock Protocol website? I'm going to invite you to screen share and drive as we work through an integration of this together in real time. As you prep it, let me say one more time, if you want to play along at home, Unlock-Protocol is the website you should visit. And the other thing I would invite you to do if you want to just get to know them better is check out their newsletter. Okay, this is paragraph.com/@unlock-protocol. And you can read it before you subscribe. You know how I feel if you listen to this show about newsletters, okay? If I woke up and all I had to read was newsletters, I would probably be, in the wrong place in the afterlife. But they don't spam you, and they have a lot of good content that will help you understand, like, what is it actually like to participate in a DAO? And also help you get to know the different members of the protocol community. Because again, this is not like some company with a CEO that is just driving the ship and making all the decisions. It's a decentralized network of people. And that's probably one of the best ways that you can get in touch. Unlock newsletter. That's paragraph.com/@unlock protocol. But now we're going over to the website. Yeah, I think we could walk through something. And while we do this, I wanted to say something that was tough for me is I was like, hey, let's do something on the show together, and let's do something for the community, for Rise Up. You know, Alex and Will and I have been talking about, like, what do we want to use Unlock for? Because probably the best way to partner together is really for us to model how to use this stuff. And frankly, like, friends listening, I felt overwhelmed because there are so many different things we have wanted to build, and there's so much different stuff that we do that Unlock could help us with. You know, we have a community, we have memberships. We've talked about wanting to do scholarships for people to be able to help others who can't afford them buy memberships, or access token gated content, or create collectibles for our community, or credentials. When you take a class, there's no reason you shouldn't get a certificate, a seal of approval that proves you did the thing, and that comes from us, verifiable, bona fide. But there's so much to do that we've really struggled, I have to say, to get started. So having you both here, the time that you've already taken with us, I know you spend a lot of time helping walk people through this, but I want to say, one, I really appreciate it. And two, even I am a little intimidated as we start this journey because I see all the possibilities. So be gentle with me, and let's walk through something together that we can build so that other folks who might feel intimidated, like me, can start wrapping their minds around this. Because I would say this is like, you know, if you're a crypto curious person, this is totally something you can learn to do. But if you're somebody who's only thinking about crypto in terms of what token should I buy, this is maybe like a level 2 concept, because it's a reframing of your understanding of this new medium. Sorry to go on about it, but I just want to give appropriate context to that. For people in podcast land, we're looking at unlock-protocol.com. And what can you both say to assuage my fears or our nerves and concerns? Go ahead, Ceci.
You know, something that I have learned in this journey, and when I started to passing some courses at SheFi with Maggie Love, which I love her. She's a great creator and a great community builder. She said, yeah, we usually live on fear to start something, or have a fear to mess up, which is totally natural and completely normal. So don't panic. That's okay. And just to start doing it with fear. No worries. Just start. So here at the website, if you want to start something, just get your wallet set up and then launch the app. If you are still like very cautious and you don't know if this protocol really is a real protocol, and maybe you are messing up with something that you don't know, please just go ahead and go through the website and start reading all the stuff that is being shared. In the case of Unlock, this is a really safe protocol because it has been audited a long time ago. So there is no, how can we say, backdoors to your wallet, for example. So that's something that you need to also consider, and just fly.
Yeah, I think this is really the truth to all of this, right? And if you, let's say someone from my community would approach me and say, hey, I found this really cool protocol, I want to try it. I would tell them, do your own research, read what's out there about them, find the confidence to eventually trust them. If you don't trust them, then don't do it. And, if you still want to try it, then just make a second wallet and try it with that, right? No risk involved. So I think because we all both come from education, that's what we would tell other people to do when it comes to other protocols, right? Of course, we've been using it so long, we know there's nothing to fear, but, to be fully transparent, I think make a separate wallet, try, experiment, go crazy with this. and then you will not fear it any longer, because we have seen this over and over again. Also, when we were helping, all these different people around the world from PizzaDAO, a lot of them were just like, they were so tense about this. They were like, it's Web3 ticketing. This can only be difficult. It was like so in their heads. And then that fear propagated their entire experience. And so sometimes I just cut them and I said, look, let's just hop on a call. I guide you through the process. You do it, but I tell you how to do it. So this is also, I think today is going to be really good, because essentially I'm going to take the guidance here, but it's not scary at all, I promise. And what you said, Evan, yes, you can do so many things that can also lead to overwhelmment, right? That's actually is a very true perception, because Unlock is a protocol. So just by its nature, it's a modular tech stack. You can do a lot of things with it, which sometimes then gets you all sprawling in your head and you're like, where do I even start? And I told the same thing yesterday to the jury artists. I said, just start with your certifications, right? Just put one product on there, make the metadata very detailed, add all of your properties that this one jewelry piece has, create the checkout URL. If you get stuck along the way, just reach out to me or someone else in the community, because we have a support channel now on Telegram, and we have a support channel also on Discord, of course. And we will solve this together, because that's what communities actually do. They solve things together, right? So should I just start? Should we just get going?
That's what is it? Nike? Just do it.
Just do it. Okay, let's just do it. So essentially just click launch app. In my case, I think my wallet is already connected. If it's not connected, then you would click the connect button.
And hold tight for the people in podcast land. Let me just say that if you want to walk through this tutorial with us, come on over to YouTube, check out the Rise Up Morning Show playlist. This is episode 400. I am so pleased to tell you. And you'll be right with us and can see everything that Stella is sharing on screen. Please continue.
That's so awesome. 400. Congratulations, by the way, Evan. And of course, the other two who are not here, who we replaced for today. All right.
Or,
Yeah. If you see Ceci and me popping up consistently, we ditched the other two. All right. So this is the locks overview page. Because we're called Unlock, we created a little bit less scary naming. So smart contracts in Unlock, they're called locks. The NFTs minted on top of a lock are called keys. Okay? Just to get the locksmith lingo going here. And we are currently on 14 different EVM networks. So you can go crazy even with the networks. I have a lot on Polygon, I have a lot of Optimism, Base, Arbitrum, of course, our friends from Arbitrum, and Celo. These are the chains that I have used so far. And today, to keep it simple and straightforward, what we're going to do is we're going to create an attendance badge for episode 400. For you guys out there that you can mint, either with your wallet, which of course is nice because then you have it show up in your wallet timeline, or you can also check it out with your email. You can just, try both if you want.
And let me quickly say for the people in the audience who are, unfamiliar with this, but who are familiar with POAPs, which we have used before, proof of attendance protocol tokens. This is a similar feature. And what I love about this is, again, the usability. Even if you're not a crypto user, you can collect this token today with an email address. You don't have to connect your wallet. It will be reserved. It'll be there waiting for you. So please continue. This is going to be a great first experience in crypto. And for all of our crypto native friends, you already know what's coming. You knew we were going to give away a token for the 400th episode. We had to do it. Go ahead. Please continue.
All right. So you essentially click create lock. And then you're presented with our four most used use cases, right? So recurring subscriptions on chain. Think, for example, a magazine subscription. That could
or
be
a Rise Up membership.
Or Rise Up membership that self-renews. That's also cool. Organize an event, that would be the PizzaDAO example, let's just say, or a FarCon or AdaptCon. They're all using Unlock. Certify the expertise on chain. I think ThirdWeb used to use this one. And there's also CU from CHerDAO, who are using this for their educational experiences. And then we have the custom membership. Depending on which one you click, the form will look a little bit different, but in the end, it's just a form you need to fill out. It's very guided, I promise. So for today, we're going to organize an event and sell a ticket. Okay, that's our thing today. And Evan, any questions? You will interrupt me. You can just cut in. Okay, we're like, also you guys out there, if you want to ask anything, I would just stop and listen.
Yeah, absolutely. I will be watching the comments. I don't have any questions at this time. I follow you so far.
Good.
So we're creating our event.
Okay. So Evan sent me a really beautiful graphic. So that's what we're going to use. Okay. And ideally, it's a graphic that's 512 by 512, but it can also be 1080 by 1080. That's usually what I use because that's social media standard. So you can use this, and you see the really cute, badge for episode 400 is showing up. And well, it also has our logo. Thank you.
Yeah, I really plugged up though. I missed an opportunity to replace Alex and Will in that picture with the two of you. That's really what I should have done. Oh man.
Don't be so mean. They cannot defend themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't feel threatened.
Yeah, no. We're going to pass it that.
Okay, so now, Evan, your decision. What's going to be the name of this?
Let's call it the Rise Up Morning Show - 400th episode.
Yeah, like so? Yeah,
That's
okay.
perfect. And for the people in podcast land, Stella is typing a description. This is an exclusive attendance badge. She's going to give some details for being with us on the 400th episode. Whatever you want to say. Don't let me, pay no attention to my voice as you try to type this. The other thing is I want to highlight for people watching that it really is as simple as filling out this kind of a form. You could put in here all kinds of details to commemorate people who were honored at your event, to commemorate the schedule of the event. If there was a giveaway, you could embed a secret clue in this if you wanted to create some kind of engagement after the fact. Stella's selecting the network that it's going to live on. Do you have a where did you say you were going to put it? Do you have a suggestion or a preference?
So the only thing that we really recommend is don't use Ethereum mainnet. First of all, it's going to create more cost, right? But then also on a second level, we in our DAO, we believe that Ethereum mainnet is meant as a consensus level. It's not meant to shoulder, everyday stuff. So I don't know, I would say Arbitrum, Optimism, Base, again, right? We have a lot to choose from, but maybe choose one where I have some Ethereum on, so I can actually make the transaction.
No, I defer to you. Put it wherever you got to. I was yesterday driving through a new protocol somebody had, just brought up, and they were like, "Well, can you show me how to actually deposit?" I was like, "Listen, I love you, but I would have to prepare. I'd have to send the funds. I don't have my teaching wallet installed."
No, you're all good. Also, just a quick FYI, if you choose the event option, it will spin up like a little event page for you. You might have seen this with PizzaDAO. And so we have something included that's called Markdown. It's essentially a way to do some light editing visually on whatever description text you're adding. You can also add links and stuff, but we can do this at a little bit later of a time because it's the smart contract, since it's yours, it's editable, right? So all of this stuff that I just put in that, normally wouldn't be editable is actually editable for you, obviously, only because, okay. So we're online right now, correct?
Perfect. Yep.
I'm just gonna put the Twitter in here. That's what I'm gonna do. We're on the 4th, so that's okay. The starting time was, let's say 8 a.m. my time. And I'm going to let this run, let's just say, until 11 a.m. our time, my time.
Let me ask you this. Can you actually extend it for 2 more days? The reason
Yes.
is we have listeners around the world, and many of them will be listening to the podcast recording, which will go up about an hour after we're on the air. So I like to give everyone at least 24 hours to listen.
Okay,
Totally.
fine.
You can edit everything that you have here.
Perfect.
Is it
And
your
at any
choice?
point of time. At any point of time. That's something that also it's one of the benefits of using Unlock, because you have full control, which
Yeah.
means you can edit it at any moment. You can raise more tickets, or maybe you want to, as you say, give another date to the end of time. So that's something that you definitely can manage it.
And I want to draw that distinction. If you're familiar with POAP, one of the frustrations that I've had, as much as I love the POAP team, because I love you guys, is you really are reliant on them for changing things. It's their smart contract that the POAPs are minted on. They have a lot of terms and conditions for how you're able to use the tokens. They can approve or deny your application. And this is much more about it's your contract. So you can do whatever you want with it according to your needs. And I think that is just fantastic. Now, I saw you down there at the organizer, etc. You can put my name, Evan Mann, and I can give you an email. And this is, funnily enough, a good time for me to say it's Evan. Actually, do this. Rise up at rumshq.com. If you're trying to contact the show, don't DM us. Don't respond to people who DM you pretending to be us. It's not us. It's a scammer. If you want to get in touch with us, that is one of the official ways to do it. Rise up at rumshq.com. And while you're
Like
there,
so?
say hi to me. Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay, so we're not going to do any attendee screening, but let's just imagine this would be a physical event in a physical location. You could also enable attendee screening. That's something you cannot take back, so be careful about this, right? And think about it ahead of time, because that's something that's not on chain. That's something that happens just on plain old goods Web 2 side of things. And you can obviously add a price. Of course, this is going to be free, right? So we're not adding a price. Do you want to make this a limited edition, Evan?
Yeah, I do. I actually want to limit it to 100. 100 is a good number, because that'll make people listening feel there's still going to be, if you're listening in the future, listen, there might still be a few tokens left to claim, but you got to get there. And that's it. Yeah, we've basically.
Yeah, we're good. That's it.
So what's next? How do we click create your event, and that's it, huh?
That's kind of it. Yeah. So we click this, our little MetaMask pop up. You cannot see this right now, but that's what's happening. And you have to pay a small gas fee, right? Because you're literally deploying the smart contract on chain. In this selection, I chose Arbitrum as a blockchain, and it's going to cost you a few cents in gas to deploy the contract. So wherever you're deploying this to, whichever network, you will need a little bit of gas fees, right? Mostly it's under $1 of gas fees, but you need that. And your contract was successfully deployed. Woo-hoo-hoo. Go to event page. And we are here. This is it.
Heck yeah. Can you ping me that in the private chat so that I can put it in the description? Because I'd love for people to be able to click through this and enjoy it on their own after the episode. And I'm going to zoom out.
First of all, I'm going to mint this.
Yeah, you absolutely
Before anyone else is minting this, I want to have token ID number 1. So,
Okay, so I'm going to put the link in the chat on the screen, but really what I would encourage you to do is this will be in the Rise Up community after the show so that you can easily click on it, and it's going to be in the show notes, the description, wherever you are, whenever you listen. So there's no rush to write it down on a piece of paper and then type it in step by step, because look at that, unlockprotocol.com/event/the Rise Up morning. You know what I mean? It's too long. It's too long. Don't do that. Just look in the description. You can claim your very own 400th episode token. I absolutely love it. That was
You
seamless.
out there.
Yes, you. Yes, you. We had a really good couple of questions. And if you've got a question about this, then I would invite you, especially if you're listening live, to just let us know. And while they do type their questions in, Stella, Ceci, is there anything that we didn't cover in this, or like follow-ups, things to think about that you wanted to add on?
I think we have covered everything, but definitely just be mindful of a few things that Stella already said. Once you are setting up the ticket or the membership or anything that you are setting up with Unlock, just choose a really cheap chain, which could be Arbitrum, it could be Base, it could be Polygon. I mean, you could even do it on a testnet, you know. So that's something also to consider. Maybe you don't have the token Ethereum on your wallet on any other chain, but you can get on a faucet. You can claim those testnet tokens and just start building your ticket on a testnet. So that's something also to consider. And the testnet is basically a playground where you can mess up, basically. So just play around with your wallet, play around with those testnet tokens, and ta-da! Maybe you want to organize your birthday party. This should be your event ticket for your birthday party, which, by the way, Stella has done that before.
You really?
I have done this. Can I quickly tell this story because it is a little bit hilarious, at least for me. So my husband, he's a little bit older than me, okay? And he's not like a super digital person. And so he told me, I want to celebrate my 55th birthday, like really big with a lot of friends. So he came to me with a guest list. And me as an ambivert, I was already pretty shocked about that guest list. So I had him trim it down to a little bit less. But I said, okay, so obviously for me, you know, coming from Unlock Protocols, the best way we're organizing this with the event organizer team is we're doing this on chain, right? Mm-hmm. And he was like, no. People are not going to get your Web3 stuff. They won't be understanding. I said, I'm making a bet with you. And he, you know, he works very differently with me and he loves gambling, okay? So I was like, I bet you $500 that it will not be a problem. And he was like, $500 pocket money in crypto? I get that from you? And I'm like, yes, you get that from me. If you're right and no one's going to do this, okay? Or it needs a lot of explaining. But the truth is, because you can do it with email, I want to say 94 or 93% of people actually registered without any problem, just with their email. And then I had a very, you know, printable guest list that I could send to the event organizers and be like, these are all the people who are guaranteed to come, right? And he was like, he was so frustrated about this. He was like, how did this work? How was it so easy for them? It's not easy. I'm like, you need to get out of your own head of thinking that this is difficult, because it isn't, unless you try and make it difficult in your own head. It's not difficult, I promise. And since then, he has never refuted it ever again.
Oh, that's wonderful. We have a couple of follow-up questions. One of them was our friend of the show, Eamon. Hey, Eamon, good to see you. Asking if we could quickly share how it is that we claim this token. So I kind of thought that I haven't claimed mine yet. So if it's okay, I'm going to share my screen quickly and show you how this works. So you'll go to the link that's in the description or that you'll get in the community. We don't have it for you anywhere except in the comments. It's not clickable here live as you're listening to me now, but it will take you to this website. The event page we just created, the Rise Up Morning Show 400th episode. It's got the description. You will use what will be a connect wallet button in the corner. You can see it's got my social wallet connected already. Or you can scroll down. I imagine on mobile, this would all be like in a vertical line, perhaps. You could do this on your phone. And you can just input your wallet address or your email address and a
Okay.
name if you want to share one. And then you can agree to receive emails if you want to, or just agree to the terms of service. And then you can RSVP now. Oh, I got to do it. So that's how you do it. I would type it in. Do you have any other additional instructions that make the claiming process simple or smooth?
Yeah,
No,
on
this
the,
is, yeah,
sorry.
go ahead.
On the claiming tickets, you don't need to connect your wallet.
Beautiful.
Because maybe the people that you are sharing the link doesn't have a Web3 wallet. So they just go through the form that you just filled and fill out their email address, for example, and their name, which is totally fine. And then just click the RSVP and obviously click on you accept the terms of service,
Yep.
and that's it.
And when I did it, it was, fast, seamless, very painless. We had some other good questions about, like, can you limit the amount an individual can claim?
Yes, absolutely. You can do that. Should I quickly show where to do that on screen?
That would be great.
Yeah. Okay. Let me go back to my little window here. Okay. So you have a few things that you as the owner of this, and Evan, I think I should eventually transfer the ownership of the smart contract to you.
And you can do that. It's worth mentioning.
Yeah.
Transfer ownership.
Exactly.
Yeah, because I shouldn't be officially the owner of this, right? So anyways, you have settings, okay? And here's, by the way, the attendance stuff and the verification stuff. So we can go to settings. And in here, you find already a lot of things that you can change. So I told you before, maybe we want to change this up with a little bit of markdown, right?
Sure.
This is the description area. Then, maybe you want to use a different type of layout. You can do this here. Or you want to change something in these settings because you're seeing, oh, not everyone has caught up to this yet. Let's make this like the 7th, for example, right? Mm-hmm. So these are direct things you can change on the event itself. But I told you the event is essentially a log, right? So you have events and the settings you can change for the event, but you can also go a bit deeper and go to logs. So let's quickly do that. And yes, it takes a second to load, so don't be scared about this. It's just, it needs to pull all of these logs from on-chain, literally. So I'm gonna folding all of these, and I'm gonna go to Arbitrum because I remember this is what's mint. And 9 people already minted. Good job, guys. You're obviously become already unlocked heroes here.
Oh, now it's 10.
Yeah, now it's 10. So now you can also see, the people who've minted this. And yes, I got my token ID number 1 because I was very fast. All right. And then settings up here changes to be like much deeper. So let's just say you would be running Dune Analytics with this. You could have your own little ticker symbol that makes sense. So for you guys, that would be RUMS, for example, right? Yeah. Or something like that. And here you can set the membership terms. So for example, you can make this a non-transferable token, right? You can say, this is the duration of how long this membership lasts before it expires. You can say the quantity in general, which we set to 100. And you can say maximum number of keys per address. So this is right now by default set to 1, which does make sense, right? But you can update this to any amount you want, essentially, and update this here. And when I click update, my MetaMask wallet would pop up again because it's a transaction that has to happen on chain, right? Because you're changing the contract on its core level. So contract changes, they require transactions on chain. Does that make sense so far?
Yes, so far we're with you.
Like, for example, I used this feature at Ethereum Bolivia Build-a-thon this year because hackers needed to have 3 meals that we are organizers needed to keep them. But how do you manage like 160 people to really just eat 1 meal and not eat the meal of another person, So that's really tough. And, people can be really hungry at times, and maybe they can manage to grab a second meal. without a permission, you know? So
Sure.
then we use this. So we give every people like three tickets on the ticket. So we QR code scan, and that's it. They already had it, and if they wanted to have another one, they could scan their QR code again, but then they wouldn't have the meal for the the, the next schedule. Let's say breakfast, they had two, but then they would have like a lunch, but they wouldn't have the dinner. So that's something that also that can be useful at any point of time that you need.
That ties into a really good question we have about scammers. So the question was like, can somebody hijack this by creating a duplicate? You know, somebody creates a duplicate account on TikTok that looks like me. And one of the reasons they couldn't hijack this is because whatever you are credentialing or creating access to is tied to the token. Like I could, when I was hungry in Memphis, I used to do exactly that kind of thing. I used to go to McDonald's. They had this promotion on their receipts where if you had a receipt, you could fill out a short survey, you'd get a little code, and then you could get any sandwich you wanted for free. And I was broke. I was hungry. I would go to McDonald's at noon and I would just sit by the trash can and wait. And people would throw away perfectly good receipts all the time. And I'd just scrape them right off the top, fill out the survey, and I would get like 6 chicken sandwiches or whatever. And it was because they were looking at my receipt. It was because the receipt was a piece of paper that anybody could pick up. These tokens assigned to your wallet cannot be used by anyone, assigned to anyone else unless you assign it to them. If somebody shows up with a picture that looks like this on their phone and it says the Rise Up Morning Show 400th episode, and I ask them, what's your wallet address? And they give me a wallet address that doesn't exist on this list, I will know that whatever they have is not in fact the token. Would you add anything to that, you know, in terms of concerns that people have?
Yeah, two things. So first of all, yes, it's entirely tied to your wallet. And I would love to go a little bit deeper, but I think we leave this for the next time because it's more technical. But because this contract is entirely tied to your wallet, it also means that quite essentially, you do not need to have the user interface of Unlock to interact with your token, with your contract. You can go to the Arbitrum Scan blockchain scanner page, right, which is freely and openly accessible. You can connect with the same wallet onto there, and you can do the same things on this decentralized page that you could do through the Unlock protocol user interface. Of course, the interface is made in a way so it makes stuff easier, right, and more intuitive, but just saying, because this is entirely bound to your wallet, it's not bound to us as Unlock protocol. You're its sole master and owner, right? And you can change this and interact with it how you please. You can build this into your website. You can, pull requests from this contract if you want to have a more complex functionality. And like I said, you can also put another person in charge. So if Evan gives me his wallet in a private chat now, if he wants to share it, then I can add him as a lock manager, and eventually I can renounce myself so that Evan becomes the sole owner. So ownership of the entire contract is transferred, which means I will not be able to help him anymore from within here, at least, just by guiding.
No more customer service.
Nah, customer service always.
Oh.
Okay, so I just signed the transaction, and as you guys can see, there's like a little loading screen happening, and his wallet.
Don't navigate away yet, because I want to show folks on TikTok too. Go ahead.
It's resolving right now, so it's gonna take a second. You see the loading up here happen.
Look at that. Now, for anybody who's just joining us live, if you want to claim this token, or if you want to catch up on all that we've been discussing with our friends from Unlock Protocol, then you can catch the replay of this episode on YouTube in the Rise Up Morning Show playlist. Just search the Rise Up Morning Show. It's the 400th episode. And if you want to claim this token for yourself, head on over to community.rumshq.com. Wherever you are, whenever you listen, it's the link in our bio. The only thing missing there is you. You can sign up totally free in just a couple of clicks. And the other thing I want to encourage you to sign up for is the Unlock newsletter. I said it earlier, but I'm going to give it to you one more time. This is paragraph.com/@unlock-protocol. And it is the way to get connected to everything going on in their ecosystem. It's not spammy. If you want to follow up, if you want to start using this and you're watching the replay and you're like, oh my gosh, how do I connect with these folks? And in a second, I'm going to tell you how you can connect with Stella and Ceci themselves, because they're both wonderful. But I would say this is like, we did it. We're total pros now.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Totally.
And made me feel totally at ease. And I think a lot of folks here are feeling that way too. We do have a couple lingering questions. Do you have just a few more minutes that we can answer some questions before we get to final thoughts and things like that?
Sure.
Okay, beautiful. Wall Street has been just throwing the questions out. So, for example, any way to retrieve a transfer if you send a token to the wrong email? Does the person who controls the contract have the ability to help you move tokens in that way? Or the wrong?
Not really. I don't think so. Once sent, it's sent.
But you could potentially issue another token to the correct address, yeah? Or something.
But also, if you know that someone minted it who wasn't supposed to mint it, you can always go to the general dashboard, right? Where we were here. Let's just say you don't want me to hold this token anymore. Okay? Because you're a little meanie, okay?
Yeah.
then you could always cancel my membership, right? Because you're the smart contract owner, so that could be something you'd be doing. But once it's minted, it's usually minted. Once the email's been sent, there's nothing that we can specifically do to hinder people from minting, because it's happening on a public blockchain, right? But what we can do is we can expire, or we can help you expire the token.
Got it. So you have ways to mitigate that kind of thing if there's a mistake or something goes wrong. And the person who would
what you can do is you can send as you can see, for example, on the email at the right side, there is also some buttons that can be done. Like you can edit the mail that is coming from, or send the QR code by mail. You can do that, but definitely wouldn't be able to edit that kind of thing, because let's remember what is a blockchain. Blockchain is a public ledger where you cannot edit, erase, or anything else. Once it's minted, it's there for a lifetime. So that's something that happens here. If you want to have it on another email, maybe then mint another key if it's possible. But you wouldn't be able to change it. For example, here it's the perfect example that we, for example, Stella, as organizer or creator of this NFT, she wouldn't be able to change that kind of stuff because she wants to, for example.
Got it. It's good to know. And like you said earlier, if people want to try this, they can deploy all of these features in a testnet environment. If that word got past you, one of the cool things that, because a blockchain is usually difficult to undo, if not impossible to undo, then you can play around in a testnet environment, which is exactly what it sounds like. It's like a draft. You can deploy a smart contract on testnet the way you might deploy a smart contract here. And Stella, I see you've got a faucet up. That was the other thing I was going to ask you to define. What is a faucet? What does it do? And tell me about the solution you've got.
Yeah, sure. So let's just say you're using Ethereum Sepolia to test, right, on Unlock protocol. Then you still need gas fees, right? You still need gas fees for a testnet. And buying Ethereum Sepolia does not really make sense if you're testing things. So you can enter your wallet address. This is the faucet from Alchemy. And this faucet just, in specific intervals, it will grant you a little bit of gas fee token. So you can experiment on a testnet. And I've been using this one for the longest time, I think, because you don't need to connect your wallet. So you just put your wallet address here and tell it send me some ETH on Sepolia testnet, and then you can experiment to your heart's content, and you do not have to pay gas fees, which is quite convenient.
Yeah, Sepolia is just the name of a test network. So
Okay.
just like your ETH can live on Arbitrum or on Base or on Optimism or on the Ethereum mainnet, Sepolia is a network that allows you to get this kind of free token that does all the things Ether tokens do for when you want to play around or test something.
Exactly.
We have another question here about escrow. Could you do this with like fungible tokens, or could you do this to manage funds together? What are some solutions? Like, I don't know what Wall Street is asking specifically, but maybe like, let's say I have, we talked about scholarships earlier. And I have this vision that we've kind of cultivated for a while where, for example, we might have multiple tokens to do something like distribute governance to people who have contributed to a scholarship commensurate with the size of their gift, where a smart contract would hold those funds until voters decided how to allocate them. But we might also want to do like a non-fungible token like this that would represent like a credential that you made a gift, and maybe a gift of a particular size, or maybe that you were a recipient of a gift. So they're asking specifically about like how this can be used, I think, to manage funds.
Sure. So it not specifically fund management that I have an example for, but what we did last year when we moved the entire DAO operation from Ethereum mainnet to Base is that we wanted to give the people who were part of this journey, who came essentially to every other DAO call, we wanted to get them some of the new UP token via an airdrop, right? But based on their participation in the system. So, you know, Julian and some of the other engineers, what they did, they measured, you know, the participation in, you know, the different DAO events by essentially tracking who has been, which wallets have been minting exactly these type of attendance badges, right? They tracked the participation on our decentralized governance forum with Tally. And I think they measured two other things. And according to that list, the airdrop was structured, right? So that's something you could do. There's not really a limit to what you can do, because maybe something I should show for, because I feel we're getting advanced questions here. So now it's time to show the advanced stuff, isn't it?
Ooh, yeah, go ahead.
Okay, let me pull up the documentation for those of you getting like in the advanced section here. So of course we have a very complete and very vast documentation. If you look to the left navigation bar, you will see tools, and under tools you will see, you know, a bunch of things. So we have our own API that you can spin up. There is, I'm not the developer here. I've just been talking with developers about this stuff. We have a hard hat plugin. We have RPC provided. So just check this area. I suggest to see like how far you can take this, because so far I've been seeing people come in and just building something that I would have never thought of, just because they had the, you know, the right idea or imagination to go there. So for example, there's sorry, I do not remember your name, my friend. I do not. But he's the founder of Coinage, and he's the founder of Best Dish Ever in New York. And he's using Unlock for Best Dish Ever, and also now for Coinage, to sell essentially, you know, marketing packages, and with Best Dish Ever to sell recurring food subscriptions. Right?
Yeah. Cool.
I would have never come up with this. So just saying, it's, you know, if someone wants to manage a fund with this, I think it's not impossible.
Yeah.
But you need to find the right way to do it, if that makes sense.
I totally get it. And one of the things I often like to say to people is that it will help you if you understand crypto will be so much more than currency, the way your smartphone does so much more than calls. And the same way that you can fold a piece of paper into origami, or write a poem on it, or paint a picture on it, or just use it as like the coaster for your coffee cup. Tokens, smart contracts, blockchains, they are tools for a whole new medium, a whole new mode that humans can use to make meaning, that will have unique, surprising forms like language does. You can do things with language that you cannot do with a piece of music, that you cannot do with sculpture. And tokens, smart contracts, they're the same way. Most of the use cases have yet to be invented. And some of them will look like nothing we've ever had before. And all of it really depends on having little building blocks like this, primitives, we would call them, that you can use to start composing in this new medium. So you're not going to break this stuff if you get in here and you start to play around and you start to imagine, like Wall Street in the comments is saying, well, can it do this? Can it do this? Can it do this? And if it's too technical for you or something's not clear, I bet that's feedback that Unlock would really want. Like, we would want you to share that with us. We want you to share that with them, and you can connect with them the same way you can connect with us. So this will all be in the description. We've talked about the newsletter, but what are some of the other ways that people who are playing around with this want to connect with you both, or Unlock can go deeper and start to build their vocabulary of Web3 expression with you?
Sure. So I would recommend you to join our Discord server and join the community. Basically, the community is over there, and we obviously post everything in there. We have different channels. We have also some DAO forum channels where we share proposals that have been coming to the DAO that we discuss, and eventually we say, okay, let's go on chain and approve this proposal on chain or not, so everything happens on Discord. And for joining, this is a great example on how our membership has helped us to have our Discord server very safe. So for joining, you will need to mint your free membership and then join to the Discord server, which is really easy. Just follow the steps until the very end of the whole process, which is definitely easy and doesn't need you to have any kind of token money or anything. Just mint your free membership and then click the last button to go back, and you will be again at the server, and the bot will recognize your membership and will grant you access to all the server.
Now, I will say, it is easy, it is simple, but I flubbed it up. It prompts you to become a member, and it takes you to an external website that gives you two choices, a free membership or a premium membership. And the premium membership, it's like a $1.99 or something small. And I thought to myself, like, oh, I'll be a good citizen and I'll get this like fancy membership, and maybe I'll contribute $2 to the DAO treasury or something. And I got this membership, and I was like, hey, guys, I can't talk in the Discord server. What's going on? I've got this membership. And they were both like, oh, no, don't use that one. So my piece of feedback would be, I still have not figured out how to start talking and claim the free membership. We can troubleshoot that offline. But my suggestion would be, can we remove that from that little website, the whatever the deprecated option is?
Yeah, we can do that.
Totally.
Because if I did it, somebody else will walk into it. Not that I'm some special guy, but I represent, I'm kind of low tech. So, for a guy who works in crypto. So
yeah, no worries.
That's your feedback.
Thank you. And I know people are going to have more. We're going to have all these links to all this stuff in the description for the episodes on YouTube, on podcast platforms, and in the community at community.rumshq.com, rumshq.com. We really want to hear from you there as you play around with this stuff, because that's how you're going to learn. And I've got a fresh link to the Discord. I will share that, like I say, in the show notes. Now, I also want to share where people can get in touch with the both of you, because aside from your work with Unlock, you're cool, dimensional, awesome people. So what's the best way, Ceci, to get in touch with you?
You can find me on Twitter. I am Ceci /Sakura007. And you can DM me on that. Just ask me a direct question, because I have been receiving many DMs over there. But I will eventually go there. Also, you can join our Discord, or sorry, our Telegram support channel that we have, and definitely we are there to answer any question that you have, and you will be able to contact us over there too.
Beautiful. And Stella, what about you? How can people get in touch?
In the metaverse. Yeah, you can find me everywhere with this handle on, I think, most platforms, Stella Achenbach. When you see this icon pop up, this like little yellow icon pop up, just assume I'm not going to respond fast, because this is my crown citizen, and it means I'm slow motion on these platforms, even though I used to be active on there. Okay, so yeah, something where you find my lead steward NFT, or just like my normal human face, that's probably the best bet for a faster response.
Got it. That's good to know. And for the people in podcast land, Stella was pointing over her shoulder at that piece of art on the wall there. You can see it on YouTube. And I would love for you both, if you have one, to share a final thought, word of wisdom. If there's anything that I didn't ask you about today that you feel is important to share before we end our time together for round one, I would love to hear it, and the floor is yours.
Sure. I think what we didn't cover, it was how do you retrieve your attendee list, for example. And that is something really easy on your dashboard, that you will be able to just click the bottom to download your CSV file of your attendee list, which is something that you could use later for any other thing. Maybe you want to do an airdrop, or you want to just give that list to your event organizer and whitelist the people that are attending, or things like that. You know, things that you can do on your benefit, which are good. So that, I think everything has been covered. And just to start using Unlock and experiment it. And maybe if you have questions, or think that you have, I don't know, messed up, for example, just ask us. We are here to support you, and the community will also share you tips and tricks that you can do still with things that maybe you wanted to know but don't know how to do it. And the community will also guide you on things that they have already used and how you can improve it for yourself.
Awesome. Thank you. And we will show how to do that in the community. If you have other questions about different features that we can like follow up with, because you're playing around, you're not sure how something works. I saw Carol was in here earlier and wanted us to maybe, go back again. If the replay of this episode isn't helpful for you and you need to go deeper, then just ask us and we can figure it out. We can make good resources. They probably already have one, because that doc site, it is pretty fantastic.
Thank
Stella,
you.
what about you? Have you got a final thought or anything we didn't ask you about today?
No, just maybe two quick thoughts. One is to Wall Street. If he really wants to build something more customized, then we do have community developers that know the protocol pretty well. So reaching out to them on our Discord might be a good way of getting into contact with someone who knows the protocol really well. I know from my perspective that I've been recently gotten more involved into building products, and it's really nice if you know people you can trust in the developer space. So just as a food for thought, if there's something more customized that he wants to do. And no, but honestly, really grateful for this really nice morning chat here and showing off the protocol, because I got involved in the protocol not primarily, with a job idea. I just started using the protocol for the magazine that we are publishing on chain in my own community. And so, I was looking for something just like this, something where I'm in charge and I can make the changes. And then I just got stuck in the best way possible. So that's the story how I entered Unlock. And from a creator's perspective, it is a very empowering tool. if you start like, going down a little bit of a rabbit hole. That's it.
Thank you for leading us down the rabbit hole today. I really do appreciate it. I am going to spend just a couple of minutes here with the folks and answer some last minute trailing questions, but I want to tell you one last time that we are so grateful, all of us here, to you for choosing to partner with the show, for making education accessible, and for an awesome walkthrough. I cannot wait to have you back on to start playing with this. Ladies and gentlemen, monsters and machines, please give it up for Ceci, Stella, and Unlock Protocol. We'll see you around soon. Yeah?
Yes.
Yes.
Excellent. Thank you.
Follow Unlock the DAO on TikTok.
That's right. And you've got to follow the TikTok profile. We've got them here on the stream today. Unlock.DAO, DAO. And I'll have the links to all the socials everywhere. So you're going to get a lot of new followers today. Okay.
Thank you guys for having us.
Bye. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Now, for all of you still listening, I do want to remind you that you can find Unlock online, unlock-protocol.com. And what they're really asking, they said, hey, if people want to stay in touch with us, they should sign up for the newsletter. That's paragraph.com/@unlock-protocol. And Rise Up is not only powered by Unlock Protocol, it seems like a good time to remind you that we are also powered by our partners at Arculus, our partners at Polygon, and the White Whale. Coming soon, a new partnership with, can you believe it? Goodnow, the liquid staking provider. We're going to have Goodnow on the show tomorrow to talk about some level 2 DeFi stuff, how you can go deeper with their protocol if you are a long-term, short-term, near-term, not sure-term SOL holder and you want to do more with your tokens. I just love that we have partners who are really doing stuff in crypto. These are the kind of people who are changing the internet. Okay, so give them a shout out, support them. And if you've got a final question, I wanted to take the time to make sure we answered it. I'm going to be here for just a couple more minutes before I ride my dogs and ponies into the sunset. So if there was something that you didn't get my attention with before, if you are unclear on anything, if you've got a crypto question that's related, this is the time for it. Shout out to Doug. Love the JTO. Absolutely. Alex said tomorrow or Thursday. Is today Tuesday? In which case, Wednesday, we are having Goodnow. Andrew from Goodnow is coming on the show Wednesday, Alex. Web3 101 Wednesday is about to become Web3 201 Wednesday. If you want to do your homework in advance, then look up liquid staking. You can go back to refresh yourself at Marinade to see what they do. You can check out Goodnow, JITO.network, and DeFi Carrot. Shout out to Bearded, our farmer on the ground who always gives us a good morning report that the APY on Carrot is at 7.86% today. You can check them out at use.deficarrot.com. Goodnow works very similarly. You deposit funds, you earn a token, you get a token in exchange that earns yield accrued to it by the underlying DeFi stuff. People are doing stuff with that. Oh, and of course, if you're interested, as part of our partnership with Arculus, we're working on a special co-branded purple wallet, okay? Like purple with the Rums logo on it, but it's the same Arculus card you know and love. If you're interested in that, we have got a survey form in the community that is going to put you on a list so that you can pre-order that, make sure that you don't miss it when it goes live. In the meantime, if you need some cold storage, RUMS10, RUMS10 is the code at Arculus. Get Arculus.com. And I got to tell you, I meant to say this yesterday, but regarding the white whale, over the weekend, if you weren't paying attention, you missed a big story. MEXC officially came out and said, we're done. It's over. We are releasing the white whale's funds. And he has already honored his promise to distribute that money to charity. Not only did he give it away to charity, he invited people to give feedback about which charity he should give money to. He did it through Sablier, which we've talked about on the show before. So everything is on chain, proof of gifts, the receipts. And look at this. I mean, there were hundreds of thousands of dollars given to charities like, let me see if I can flip this around and we can get a little screen share. Charities like farms. Jillian, a friend of the show, helps ensure that millions of pounds of food don't go to waste every year. Okay. Our own Mr. Alex Popovich submitted them for the White Whales consideration and yeah, made it happen. But there are a variety of charities. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different charities get a donation of hundreds of thousands of dollars. It was a total of $1.243 million donated to charitable causes. And if you supported the White Whale during their campaign, then there is also an airdrop that could be live right now. If you claimed the POAP they distributed, if you did the reposting, let me see, where do I get this? You can claim your reward now. Oh, come on, White Whale. I'll have to post the link in the community. He tweets so much. But I just wanted to give a shout out to our partner. You have been a big part in supporting their campaign for advocacy and helping powerful companies like MEXC do the right thing. Seriously, unbelievable impact, like Alex says. Very cool example of how when we stand together in the crypto space, we are stronger than any of us is alone, even a big white whale. You made that happen. So shout out. And while we're talking about partners, the last thing I want to say about partners is about Polygon. We need to have Rudo back on the show because I have not yet seen any folks create their UGC, user-generated content. If you're not aware, right now, Polygon has a UGC campaign that's live where anybody who publishes a piece of content and uses the hashtag Polygon, hashtag UGC about Polygon or about anything related to them in their ecosystem. You could talk about how to stake Pol tokens. You could talk about Poly Market. You could talk about Courtyard, the Pokemon card experience. You could talk about any of that stuff. They just want more content from everyday people and they want to pass on the rewards directly to you. This is a $25,000 campaign. They're just kind of dipping their toe in and testing the waters, okay? You could win up to $25,000 depending on, how the quality of your video, how it performs, that kind of thing. And they have indicated to us after we advocated for this, that if it goes well, that they would absolutely consider giving more funding towards initiatives like this. And we think it's so important for people to be able to get rewarded for their time. There's a real interesting conversation about creators and compensation on Twitter right now. A lot of people want to know, how do I start making crypto content? How do I grow on TikTok or Twitter? The most important thing is you've just got to start. And the best way to start is when you have an incentive like this that is aligned with your success. Somebody's going to give away money. If you make quality content, like, heck yeah, you should absolutely do it. Alex says, the threshold to submit to win the money is so low right now. I'm serious. It's so low. He's not even joking about that. If you're a creator or you want to start, he says, create something about Polygon and boom, you're entered to win. The hashtags are Polygon and UGC. And we had Rudo on, what was it, Alex, 2 weeks ago to talk about this? Right when they were launching. And it was actually before they were launching, he debuted it on the show. And the links weren't even live yet. So now it's live. And I will put the links in the description to this episode. You can go to the Polygon Content Hub, which is pol.polygon.technology. That's going to help you learn all the stuff you need to make kill content. It's going to connect you with lots of links. They've got a content creator dashboard there where they're going to be featuring work from people like you and like me. You can explore all their different apps there. And they've also given us a form, a Google form, where you can request free Polygon merch to wear in your content. If you're going to make a video, why not get one of those cool pink Polygon shirts like Alex and I wear, or the cozy Polygon sweatshirt? Like, seriously, they're giving away free stuff. They're trying to pay you money, and they're building the future of the internet. So I got to say, I'm very bullish on our partners. Now, that's enough commercially. If you've got a crypto question, this is the place for it before we ride our dogs and ponies into the sunset. If you've got an error, if you've got a problem joining the community, If you need something else, send us a message. We will never message you. I think it's worth telling you that one more time. If you get a message from me or from a creator you trust that appears to be legitimate, they're asking you if they can help you invest. They want to know how your investing is going. They seem a little too friendly for somebody who has 500 trillion thousand followers or whatever it is. I heard a story about a pig butchering scam the other day where somebody, they commented on Matt Rife, the comedian's Instagram page. They got a message back from a creator who appeared to be his representation, who had a lot of information about Matt and invited this person to his like fan page, a different Instagram page where he interacted with fans. And a couple days went by, and then she commented and got a message from Matt Rife. And the way that this person took advantage of that user was just, it was incredible. They would start sending voice messages from Matt, like people have done with our voices. And they even, as the relationship deepened, sent her physical flowers to make her believe that she was talking with Matt Rife and that he was falling in love with her. They were like, oh, she said, can we start texting? No, we can't text because I'm on tour right now and they're very strict about the riders and how I give out my number, but we can talk on Telegram. I mean, it was just textbook classic scam. They took this woman for all she was worth, and she really, really believed she was falling in love with comedian Matt Rife. Smart people fall for scams like this. Teachers, doctors, lawyers, people people that are in your neighborhood fall for scams like this. So the best way to protect yourself is just to remember that no legitimate creator will ever reach out to you personally to do anything like that. Algerian prince, Wall Street says, from Nigeria to Algeria. And hey, African countries have gotten a bad rap for that. But I have to tell you, for our African audience, the folks in the west part of the continent, the south part of the continent, we have a lot of listeners there. If you're in Nigeria, if you're in South Africa and you're listening to the Rise Up Morning Show, if you're somewhere else, leave us a comment and let us know. We see you and we appreciate you. And I just want to let people know that many African developers, creators, even everyday crypto users, they are leading big time in terms of adoption. I'm about to go to Argentina for Dev Connect, and they are leading big time in terms of adoption. People use crypto there. So shout out to all of you. Thank you for being part of this, for making the Rise Up Morning Show part of your wherever you are, whenever you listen routine. We really appreciate you. Do you have any suggestions for a cold wallet for HBAR? Polly619, thank you very much for making time to ask. So it depends which network your HBAR lives on. I assume you mean HBAR network, like the Hedera network. In which case, I'm going to tell you that there are several cold wallet options for you. And the way you would find this out for yourself is if you wanted to go to Google or an LLM, you'd type in which cold wallet supports Hedera network. Okay. It's going to give you an answer. And if it's an LLM, it's going to give you a couple of different sources that you can check. And when you get those sources, it's probably going to take you to like Ledger's website or Decent's website. Hedera also itself has a list. I don't know where this list is, but you could probably find it on their website. Of different cold storage options that work well for them. So Decent, like DCENT is one. That's a hardware wallet. You can get it at, let's see, what's their site? Anybody got me with a fact check for a fact check yourself, brother, on the website URL of Decent? Brother. It is DCENTwallet.com. You can also, looks like, use Hedera's network on Ledger. And I'd have to ask our friends at Arculus, but I would go over to getarculus.com and I would ask about Hedera. Just see. Arculus by CompoSecure. Supported coins and blockchains. This is what I want you to see. Most wallet providers, be they cold wallets or hot wallets, meaning physical devices like my Arculus card or apps and websites like MetaMask, will have a page on their site that will say something like this: which coins does Arculus currently support? And this is going to allow you to learn a little more. Over 95% of crypto assets by market cap, custom tokens on ETH, Polygon, Binance, and they've got a searchable list. Check that out. So let's see. HBAR, Hedera. You can store it, send it, and receive it on an Arculus wallet. You cannot buy it or swap it there. So Arculus would be a good choice. Ledger might be a good choice. And the question there, my friend, if there are many wallets that supports the network and tokens you want to use, the question becomes, which one is easiest for you to use simply, safely, consistently, well? We talked about this on the show yesterday at the end of the show. That's always my recommendation for you. Yes, you listening, is you need to find a wallet that works for you. If your hands have tremors and you don't see well, then this little Ledger Nano X is just going to be a nightmare for you to use. You're going to hate it. If your phone doesn't have a good NFC chip reader, this Arculus wallet will be a nightmare for you to use. We're partnered with Arculus because we think their product is super simple, fairly easy to understand, and extremely secure. You can learn more about that in the episode that we did with Dr. Adam Lowe. If you've got questions, we have used a variety of wallets and are happy to answer them for you. Yes, on TikTok, D. Halchek says, just got a request to fill out a form. Is this safe and from you? Yes. You are sometimes seeing notifications on the screen the way I share a link or whatever. That's directly from my account. In fact, here, maybe I can pop another one up for my friends in TikTok. I'm going to take it off. It just went down. And this is a way to make it easier for you to get the link to join the community when you're on TikTok. If you click that button, it'll take you to a little DM, just sort of an auto response, and it'll say, hey, here's the link to the community. That way you don't forget it. I'll put it up again in just a minute before we go. And if you're listening to my voice and you're thinking, well, hey, I'm not on TikTok, don't fret, don't sweat. You can find us wherever you are, whenever you listen, at rumshq.com, or just go to community.rumshq.com. Good questions. Got to stay safe out there. And I think it's about that time. Great show today, Jar says. Not able to get the link active for the POAP. No problem. I will help you. The Unlock Protocol claimable link will be in our community, and I have in fact prepared a POAP as well so that you can do a side-by-side of the experience if you've never done it before, and so that you can test out more great Web3 protocols. Great question from Carol on the way out the door. Says, how do I know if my phone is acceptable for the Arculus card? If you go to getarculus.com, or you just search, does my phone work with Arculus on Google, it's going to take you to a page on Arculus's support website, support.arculus.co, that tells you about what versions of your Android phone, your Apple phone, whatever kind of phone you use are compatible with an Arculus card. Okay, Carol, I'm going to put this link in the community for you, but it says, the Arculus wallet app is currently compatible with Android version 11 and newer, and should work on any Android phone that supports NFC. So that's two things. You're going to need a phone that can scan NFC chips. You would just Google, does my Apple iPhone number, whatever, 15 support NFC scanning? It does. Apple, like iPhone 8 and newer, I think, support it. And then the other thing is your operating system. Carol, I'm sure your phone, you use an iPhone, it's newish in the last 5 years, right? I'm sure it supports the Arculus card. It's got an app that it'll need to be compatible with your operating system, and it's got the card. You'll need to have the ability to read NFC chips to make that work. Great question. Is Arculus compatible with all or most crypto? Over 95% of major crypto tokens. They, like many wallet companies, prioritize crypto tokens that many people hold and trade. So if you have a really obscure token on a totally new blockchain network, then they may not support it. But that's not uncommon. Wallet providers, they're companies like anybody else. They have limited resources, and every new network they choose to support requires them to build like a bridge of code to make it compatible with issuing private keys on that network or keeping your assets secure. So They don't have the resources. There are, new blockchains getting spun up every second. They just don't have the resources to discover them, to learn about them, to build code that can integrate them with your user experience. That would justify it because maybe there's only 5 users of this blockchain. What is the secret word for the POAP? That's a great question. I am going to make a post in the Rise Up community, community.rumshq.com. It will say, claim your 400th episode collectible. I will have the link to claim the unlock token, and I would love for you to post the secret word for today's episode to claim the POAP. So you're going to have 2 different claiming experiences, okay? Thank you for reminding me, Solon. For the POAP, the secret word is unlock more. Unlock more. All one word, no spaces, lowercase, or if you just post unlock more, it's not in the POAP app, it's on our community. Post that in the forum somewhere. Let me know. Use it in a joke. Why did the lock get so? I don't know. You know what I mean? Do whatever you got to do. Unlock more, some variation of it. That's going to be the secret word to claim the POAP. I will send you a direct link to mint it. And then Alex, since you're listening, hey, how about throwing a little POAP claim bot into blockchain Basecamp? And how about working around some integrations for unlock into blockchain Basecamp? We got to start integrating our memberships. I'm thinking we're going to do scholarships that way. And as long as I'm saying, how about DJ Willie Quiggs, can you give me the assist?
How about giving us some fucking credit?
How about giving us some credit? Give the people building the future some credit. Thank you for being the very best part of what we do. Thank you for making it possible for us to have builders like this on the show. Your trust, your attention, your time, those are your most valuable assets. And the fact that you share that with us, man, we really appreciate it. So that's all we've got for today, my friends. It's been a good show. You've learned a lot. Get yourself some ice cream, pat yourself on the back, and then come back tomorrow because we're going to be here live with Andrew from Jito. Alex will be back. Will is still in Japan. You might want to check in on him 12 hours later. Make sure he's doing okay. And you, my friend, let us know how you're doing. We'll see you in the community. Thank you very much. Until next time, everybody, stay safe. Be well, my friends.